Alright, first of all, I want to thank my very good friend, Trenton. Thank you for the video idea, and let's get on with the show. Hello, friends. Welcome to my video today, and we will be discussing, the lore of Fantasyland and what everything is to do with, Fantasyland and the surrounding areas. So, today I explored BoneLab and its contents to find all of the lore I could for Fantasyland and such topics. So I'll be covering a couple levels, mainly the ones that feature stuff from Fantasyland. I will be delving into Descent, and then I will go into Mind Dive, and then I will go into Ascent. So this is 50 minutes of recording that I'm editing as of now, and I do hope you enjoy. As you can see, I am just messing around in the BoneLab hub right now. So I was actually on a call during this first part, and then somewhere in Descent, I lost the call, and then well, the call ended, and then I was all alone. One summary I can say is that there was a lot of clipboards in this video, because I'm not gonna make too many theories in this video. Mostly I will just be using official content to find out what I'm doing, and that's basically all. Loading into Descent here, I did the regular intro, and I found a couple of clipboards in this level, so I will be going over most of this in a little voiceover here. So yeah, it's basically Descent. First off, starting here, we can see a large statue with what the people call precedents, which are basically rules which each of the citizens of Fantasyland are forced to abide by. So we got a couple here. Let me list them out real quick. First rule is to basically just be okay with being stuck within the walls of the Guardians. The second rule is to basically be grateful of the divine supplies being given by the all-holy lords above. And rule 3 is the rejection of unholy arts, which is just basically no devil's work. So rule 4 is labor to constantly better the land, which kind of contradicts rule 8, but I'll get there in a second. Labor to constantly better the land is just basically just keep being slaves to whatever. Rule 5 is to pay no heed below the belt, which, if you know, you know. Rule 6 is obedience to elders, clergy, and superiors. Don't know if I'm saying that right, but who cares? That means just listen to whatever your higher-ups say. Rule 7 is to respect and keep the holy safety bubble distance, which I'm assuming is just like keep, like, I don't know, 2 feet away from people respectfully. And rule 8 is rejection of all modification to body, mind, and environment. Well, in the background, you've seen gameplay, so let me stop here with the rules, and just rule 8 just means no cyberpunk anyway, this clipboard, go on. This whole clipboard says, note, Heaven's Reach Grand Elder. So it is a note to the top elder in the system for Fantasyland. It says, after great deliberation with the underdwellers, we have decided to seal up these tombs and retract any record of their existence. For too long we have retained this devilish pact, allowing the subterranean demons to toy with the souls of our flock. Henceforth we shall ensure destitutes are unable to reach these horrible hails of any cost. The horrors of keeping souls alive while the flesh decays, this is necromancy. So basically what they're saying here is that the note is talking about how the Grand Elders they have kept any and all human beings that have been thrown down into the tomb from coming back up. So basically, our main character that we play as in BoneLab is essentially trapped down here with no escape. And as you find out later in the game, spoilers for a 2-year-old game, we find out that it is actually not the case. We rise back up, so they sealed it off, just trying to keep us away from Fantasyland for good at that time. And that's basically all we have for right now. So let's get on to the next clipboard. The next clipboard I found says FL cast member AI data collection request to abandon. It seems a Heaven's Reach elder has decided to seal off catacomb access from their town after stumbling down here continuously. They have sent free, thinking dissenters down into these tombs, and we have done our best to study and understand how this simulation is learning. The Heaven's Reach Fantasyland simulation is deciding to go purely self-sustaining. They are now viewing cast members in a negative light, left to their own devices. The AI has become extremely conservative in their ideologies. We probably need to abandon this research dungeon and seal off the back paths into myth. No skin off my back, the job is a little too creepy. So basically this cast member is talking about how basically the civilians that bought themselves into playing Fantasyland are now without the help of outside knowledge and resources, so they're completely on their own, which is kind of scary to think about. But yeah, that's basically the state of Fantasyland as of BoneLab. And there's also this palette that I found that doesn't look too important, but it says something about a guy named Hamilton or something like that. He made I remember trying to say this in real life, quarter neon multiplication formula. And it's pretty interesting looking. I couldn't read it all because it's pretty blurry in BoneLab, but I'm sure there's something out there, someone that could interpret all that. So that's basically what I found in this one key room, and on to the next keyboard, or clipboard. One thing I find pretty interesting here is that it seems that one of prisoners has escaped before, so that makes me question if the elders in Fantasyland have encountered such a prison break before. Maybe it could have been like Jimmy or something that could have escaped from Fantasyland. So I don't know. It just got me curious. So what are your guys' thoughts? This clipboard says, Fantasyland guests. The Fantasyland guests accept the simulated life for what it is. They like experiencing this, they paid for it. If they're addicted to the raw experience and don't want our help or intervention, then I am not really sure what we can do. We get paid by Monogon either way. So the developers of Fantasyland clearly don't really care about the people who have bought into this experience, except for they care about everything. They care about all about the money. That's all they care about. So I'm not. This kind of relates to the clipboard earlier, the last clipboard, which is like how the development team have just gone off the rails and just have not been supporting Fantasyland at all, and how it could possibly affect the people who have bought into the Fantasyland experience. On to the next one. The next clipboard says FL cast member costume requirements. This whole clipboard is basically just a person ranting about how the costume environment for Fantasyland is unbearable for some other cast members, but completely fine for themselves. So this is basically implying, at least I think, that the cast members are like photo scanned into the game, which could be like some of the peasant like NPCs as well, and like how they could be avatars for other people inside of the game, so inside of Fantasyland, and that how the civilians who bought into Fantasyland basically just have free reign over who they can be, which is why they might have the ability to swap into their own personal character, and how they could be just kind of stuck there in a ways of being them, you know? Alright, so this next clipboard has the title FL cast member and trash handlers. This is a message log between two trash handlers, which will go just by TH. TH1 says, cleaning day is such a fun thing. Us trash handlers have to clean every day. Then once a month, they require all regular employees to help. And then TH2 says, I am so tired of cleaning up this fantasy stuff. Can't we just cleanse it all with lava and restore? TH1 says, cleanse it with lava, rebuild from scratch, let us create stuff sometimes too. TH2 says, yeah, maybe we should get a creation day where us trash handlers get to create whatever random stuff we want. Going to be a lot more lava, that's for sure. Lava basically implies lava gang, so they're basically talking about using lava gang as a way of using the trash for something to better create something instead of just throwing it all away at the end of the day. And it is even applied that the civilians of Fantasyland have to take part in this as well. The entire trash handling stuff like that and all that labor, so maybe a part of it. Right around here, I tried using my Nimbus gun to get into the keycard room for Descent, which didn't work out too well, so I just get stuck here for a little bit, and most of this is just me trying to go through here, and Fusion doesn't actually allow me to use the Nimbus gun to no-clip through here, and I didn't want to waste the time going through the level and getting the key card and doing all that stuff. It's just really boring. So I don't know if there's anything important in that room, but I really hope not, because there could be some detrimental stuff. So let's go. After killing the null bodies with the training pistol and heading up those stairs, you can find one of the clipboards that talks about how a cast member was in the simulation and tried to get out using the train, and they tried using their transfer pass, it disappeared, and they couldn't spawn in a new one, so they had to find a emergency simulation exit elevator that you find at the end of the level in Descent, which you eventually crash down into and go into the BoneLab hub eventually. So, kind of connections. So that's not really relative to Fantasyland at all, but just rambling, I guess. Yeah, so it appears that the AI in Fantasyland is quite dangerous in a way, in that it could be even harmful for the cast members going into the simulation. So, yeah, that's about all for this one. I just realized I've been editing this video for 4 hours. It's 8 p.m. right now. I'm so tired. This clipboard talks about a notice saying that the lift access is down, and any null entity sent to ascend into Fantasyland must be secured to the lift and adorned with a fantasy-appropriate avatar body. So those are those null bodies that we see, the peasant nulls that we see in Ascent and Home. So that could be... That's interesting, how we, as the player, went up the elevator and had no issues, right? You'd think that maybe the elevator would have broken or something, or something like that, so I don't know, maybe it's just a plot hole with the clipboards or something, but most likely or not, the issue was fixed by the elders or the superiors or something like that. So yeah, I'm not too sure about this clipboard. I'll have to dig into that some more, I guess. This clipboard says lift crew. Wishing Well lift crew used to be one of the coolest jobs. The people of Heaven's Reach would literally wish into a well, and we would grant them by sending up what they were wishing for. Well, our responsibility was just checking for historical accuracy. It was somewhat romantic of an idea to play guardian angel for the people of Heaven's Reach. It is a shame that the elders of Heaven's Reach decided anything obtained through wishing it was akin to witchcraft. I am sure they will transfer me to another department or simulation, but this one was peaceful and pleasant. So clearly the wishing well from the mine dive was originally something very respected in the cast members, so seems like the wishing well was where they would get the divine provisions that are in the rules for all of Fantasyland. So I'm wondering why the elders would just kind of cancel it, you know. This clipboard says observation on lift crew. Report. Antique analysis lift crew. A team member considers submitting ethical grievances against superior. An employee expresses empathetic concern over Heaven's Reach inhabitants' well wishes. No further action necessary, just yet continued observation necessary. That's a lot of necessary. Anyway, so this is clearly talking about how, you know, the previous clipboard had the guy talking about how his job was completely salvaged, so that he wouldn't be working at the wishing well anymore. And this is further evidence, seeing how the civilians that are in Heaven's Reach or Fantasyland are no longer given permission to use the lift anymore. So it's weird. And another thing, it says a team member considers submitting ethical grievances against superior, which going against, you must abide to your superiors, your clergy, your elders in the rules of Fantasyland. So I'm wondering if that guy might have had something happen to him because of going against his superiors. So just another theory to throw in there. Alright, I'm about to speedrun these clipboards. Alright, you ready? You ready? Okay, let's go. This clipboard talks about the shutting down of the wishing well. This clipboard talks about wishes of a wishing well. This clipboard talks about more wishes of a wishing well. This board talks about supervisors of the wishing well. And that's about it. So, yeah, speedrun. Oh my god, it's almost 9 p.m. I'm gonna die. Anyway, for the rest of Descent, there is literally nothing of interest here. I'm literally, there's like one clipboard in the rest of Descent, and there's like 7 minutes left of this footage. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna tell you right now that all this footage is basically useless. Kill me now. Alright, beginning with Mind Dive. In Mind Dive, I found one clipboard. As you can see, I am scouring this map across all sides, looking for clipboards, anything of the sort, any lore in Mind Dive, because Mind Dive is kind of fantasy related. And I found nothing. I genuinely found nothing. I tried Michael Wyckoff's key card. I deleted that door. Then I went in here. I found one clipboard that talks about the foundation plates take root, and the process is wild. It doesn't matter if MythOS or Monogon or the security team approve that the raw concept with the rule as rules layered with void energy. So it basically just talks about the void and how there's like different void pop-ups in Mind Dive, and it's really just annoying that I couldn't find anything here because I spent like, I don't know, maybe like half an hour. This is sped up footage, by the way, if you could. Anyway, onto the level. This level's an interesting one because I only found 2 clipboards on here, and one talks about how the Heaven's Reach Grand Elder somehow predicted you, the player, arriving up the elevator from Ascent and coming back to Heaven's Reach, the town, Fantasyland, basically. And I'm not too sure how he preceded that happening, but maybe as like telekinesis. The other one talks about the other clipboard that is in home is talking about the player again, and how their whole society is just crumbling down as you are just slaughtering every single one of them in revenge. So that's basically all I got for you. So if you enjoyed this video, like, and if you want to see more, you can subscribe for future videos like this. I post variety content, I guess. Gaming with friends, and other fun stuff like that. So I'll see you in the next one, and yeah, see you later.